Let's talk about why having a planner ecosystem is really important and great to have, especially during the 2026 planner launch chaos. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited that you're here and I really wanted to talk about this topic. Last week I did mention I wasn't planning to buy any Hobonichis from the Hobonichi planner launch of 2026. And there are other planners that are launching, such as Hemlock and Oak or Sterling Inc.'s Common Planner. There's also the Just Scribble Planner, and I mentioned and Oak already, but you get my point. There are numerous planners like Paper Test Designs that are launching their 2026 lineup. Now, because of tariffs and shipping, there's a lot of things that are going into play in terms of 2026 planners and people purchasing them ahead of time, as in a kind of like pre-order, so that way these companies know how many planners to order instead of just ordering a whole bunch of planners and people order them in the midst of all the 2026 trying to figure out what you're going to use for the next year to plan your life or whatever you need to do. So for me, I am really happy with my current planner ecosystem. And what do I mean by that? It means the current system that I am using. I am happy with my planners right here. So if I do buy anything, it's going to be new inserts because either I need them for 2026 or I need them for specific tasks within my planning system, as in buying new book bound planners and things like that. I am not going to do that. Also, when April of 2026 comes, I will be purchasing a new journal, the same exact one from Nolty, but this still has a ways to go since this planner starts in April. So I do have some time with this one, and we're going to flip over some of these pages and kind of discuss how exactly I'm using it and share some of my favorite pages. I'm also going to talk about, current reads and how this also can help when you are needing to write something. Doing something as simple as reading a book or having a current read can really help kind of inspire you to write something weekly, or if it's a favorite show that you're watching, or a movie that you just watched, or somewhere that you went, or something that you did that captures a moment or a memory. It's really good to have all these things when you are journaling. Now, whether you're journaling on paper in terms of pen and paper, you're junk journaling, or you're sticking pictures in your journal, however you prefer to journal is completely up to you. And I'm going to show you a couple of spreads that I have here so that way you get an idea of how my system works for me. So I'm going to just kind of move these to the side here. And I have my clip here, and I'm going to just move my pen here, and I am going to kind of share some spreads here. So this is one of the spreads that I got here. I remember this spread very well because my son and I went to like a comic convention. There was Artist Alley. I got some matcha. I got some cute stickers by an artist. And I really, really had such a wonderful time with him at this event. So I did want to record those memories. Then I was reading Heat of the Everflame, Great Big Beautiful Life, The Uncensored Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde, and I was talking about my current journaling system. This is another idea, something that I wrote about and I was definitely excited to share. Then I'm going to probably go to one of my favorite spreads, and I have this here just to kind of help me find the pages. But I was watching You, and I was really expecting a lot from the last season. I really wanted it to not feel rushed, and it did feel somewhat rushed, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. I think the character, you get to see how he really does not take any accountability for his actions. He blames like the women that he's in love with, and it's very toxic, very just a whole bunch of things happening in this season, and I enjoyed it. I put a picture of like the Brooklyn Bridge because it took place in the city. Love the Brooklyn Bridge, love walking on it, things like that. And then I just kind of put like the two cover arts here, and I really wanted to capture my thoughts with that. Then this week I read a lot. I read The Maidens, I also read Kindred, A Study in Drowning, of Women in Salt, and I was also watching The Empress. I love historical romances or historical literature because it brings me into a place where I can kind of review history, learn about history, but also engage with the story, engage with these characters, or read a good fantasy to take me away and escape. And I really loved the show The Empress. I kind of like learning about that time period. Then of Women in Salt, that had me in tears. I was a mess reading that book, but it is so, so good. But I was a mess. And then The Maidens, I enjoyed that. I like Greek mythology. Kindred was another one that had me in a mess. And I love the study in drowning, like I said, because it was just like a nice little escape. And then this is the spread I wanted to share. I kind of went more in depth with this spread. I went back and added more to it because I felt like it was missing something. I felt like it wasn't exactly how I wanted it to be. And I ended up adding more layers to this. I ended up putting like picture frames and adding words, and I really liked how this turned out. I think this is more like something of my vibe, and it's definitely a little more junk journaling and ephemera collection because I got this from Wendy's, Wendy's X Wednesday, and I added some pieces to kind of match the vibe of this spread. And then with the current week, I have to like be very careful when I fold it. But with the current week, I took some ephemera from a mug that I purchased, from a shirt that I wore, and I added it to the spread. I also took like a selfie, not really showing my face, but just kind of like you see me in the background. And I really wanted to capture that moment. And I really do love this spread. This spread is something that when I looked at it, I was like, oh, I was listening to Twisted Crowns. And I'm definitely gonna like write about it, I think, in this week because I'm gonna be finishing the duology. So I think I want to do like an entire spread due to that and then do like a little bit of journaling. But anyway, I was listening to audiobooks. The weather is getting colder. We are now in September. More books, please. I wanted to capture everything that happened during the week, what I wore, collection of ephemera, have a little picture in there, and write down all the memories. And I'm able to kind of read through that in this little flip out that I created. So I really, really love this. So you don't always have to like write about the most amazing experiences that you have. Any experience can be something that you can journal about, you can write about. You can literally take things that you purchased or bags that you received from purchases and literally put them inside your journal, which is what I did. So I wanted to share that. And this is an ecosystem for me. This is my journaling ecosystem. I don't have to write in this every day, but if there's something that I want to remember, I will write it on the top here and then I will journal about it. And I love these little boxes because it gives you like two spaces so you can write personal, professional, or personal and something related to a hobby, personal and media that you're watching. So it really gives you endless possibilities, and I like that this right here is kind of like left open so you could pretty much do whatever you want. But I use this space to like journal, and it's been so functional for me. I have been loving how I've been using these pages and seeing how each page is very much different from the last one that I created. So I hope this gives you ideas. And this is something that I don't have to commit to. I don't have to like stress myself out about what I'm going to write every day. And I added some ephemera here. I added a clear pocket and I just kind of put some items in here so that way if I want to draw a line I can, or if I want to add like a sticky note I can, and then I have planning with aloes laminate here. So I really do love that. But that is my current book. And she is so cute. I love her. Very minimal to maintain. I don't stress out about this. And like I said, you could pretty much use anything. You can use your current read. I'm reading Two Twisted Crowns now, to journal about, to write about, or to make an entry. And it's super, super simple. So I'm going to move that to the side. And I'm going to put this here. Now, this one, we're going to give it a good kind of view. I'm just going to kind of skip over my calendar section where I write down like all the family appointments and things like that, any important dates. I just kind of skip over that because that has a little more information in there. I have my inbox here. I kind of switched up some sections. I added the shopping list to the inbox section and then books to read just in case I see books or hear about books that I want to add to my list. I can definitely do that here. I also have this week, and I just love the layering of the calendars here. And then I have the week that passed here, which I love. I have actual writing, my schedule, any important things, any reminders. Then here is the upcoming week, and I already set up Monday, so it's good to go. I have my tracker here for the week, and then I have a brain dump list of everything that I need to accomplish for the week. So this kind of works out because I can see my schedule, I can write down what I need to do, but then I have an ongoing brain dump list that I can use in either or week, and for me, it works. Then we're going to go to the current month, which is September here. And I have a cloth and paper like sticky note. So I added to my calendar, and then whatever appointments or anything I need, I'm just going to put it here. And any reminders, I have it over here. And I do have a meeting on Friday, so I am highlighting that. And once Friday comes around, I will add more details to that. Then for the next section, I love this. I have 25. And then this, I just love this dashboard. Then my meeting notes here. And sometimes I put the sections like behind the divider, which, I don't mind. And then sometimes I put it in front. So I have meeting notes again, and then I have project planning, and then I have personal family notes there. So I just want to kind of move that over. My password information, and then, of course, my finances that I have here. I need to get started with September, have been so bad with that, but you get the point. Life is busy, and sometimes, you just can do whatever you do. But I was in here this morning, sitting down, just writing all in my planner, just having so much fun doing it, just relaxing. And that is real life. This is part of my ecosystem. This is the one that goes with me on the couch. This is the one that I could literally fit my pen right here. And I have all three things in here. I have my, highlighter, my pen, and then I have my uni pen. And I can easily write what I need to write in here. And it's super, super simple to like keep up and maintain. I don't have to stress myself because this is like my on the go planner. Now, if I do take this planner out with me out of my house, then I will take out the password sections because I do not want to leave that in there. I should have honestly bought the password log for my half letter, but I didn't do that. So for right now, it is there, it is living there, but I do take it out whenever I do go out because I don't want to carry that info with me. And then we are going to go to my half letter real quick. And this is just something I keep up with during the week. I would say like once a week, I would kind of go in here and kind of check everything, usually at the beginning of the week, and kind of transfer information over. So I have July, then I have August, and then we have the current month of September here. And September is, not really super busy, but it's also a month that is more lax because now the appointments are calming down, the academic year started. My parents are transitioning into their new room and space, and I just am kind of going with that flow. Then we have the schedule here. So this is like my weeklies, and I have again the cleaning list from the planner spot. It's a freebie, the planning trigger list, and then goal setting trigger list, planner spot. And then this is the weeks that just passed here. So I use it when I need to use it, and if I don't need to use it, I won't. I'm not going to stress myself out. I have my key here. So if I do need a reference as to what certain things mean, then I have that information. Then I have notes and lists here. And I love this because I have all my books. I just kind of finished filling up my 2 entries. So I have James here and I have One Dark Window. I DNF Tender as a Flesh because I did not really like that one at all. And I think that's my second DNF. So it can happen. It's okay. It's happens from times to time. Then I have like a double kind of like here. So I'm gonna pull this out because I didn't even realize that had like a space there. So I might put that somewhere else just to give me a little more, I guess, leeway into where I could place another dashboard. But sometimes you find things in your planning system that you're like, hey, I didn't know that was there. I also did an entry here on my archive, so I can always reference these and put them in my journal. I really like using these, and I think they're good to have like on the go or just kind of to reference back. But I think for me, if it's really important, I will write it here and kind of keep it in my archiving system because I do like to look back on certain things. And then I have my notes section and then my finance sections that is here. So this is my ecosystem. Now, the way I am going to utilize this system for the upcoming year, so it works for me and I don't get overwhelmed, is that this is going to house my monthly and weekly kind of like plans. And then it's also going to have any type of notes, meetings, or project planning in here because this is my on the go planner. I will be getting a password holder or kind of like info for the half letter, and I'm going to transfer all this information into the half letter. So this section is actually going to be coming out for 2026 or even whenever I want to. It doesn't necessarily have to be for 2026. And the finances, I do like having like an ongoing list of what I spend money on. But pretty much what I know I need is the inbox. I really don't need a books to read section. So this may be coming out because I already have a books to read in my catch-all planner. So this is just like, maybe if I was out and about and I was at Barnes and Noble and I only wanted to buy 2 books because that's what my budget allows. And there's like 3 other books I want to get, I would probably write them down here and then get them whenever I can. That was the idea behind that, but I do see that this is not really getting utilized, so I'm probably going to pull that out. And then for this week, I already went ahead and purchased the Sterling Ink weeklies and monthlies because they're super, super functional and it's something that I can utilize. And I love weeklies. That's where I live, is in weeklies, and in monthlies. That's where I live. And then anything pertaining for work or personal, I need meaning basically for either or and project planning. And the basic grid notes are wonderful because that's where I write down anything that is on the go important pertaining to like my family in terms of notes. I have it literally right in here and I have easy access to it. So that's what I'm going to do. So this is going to be like the one I live in every single day. And then I'm going to kind of share what is going to happen with this one. So I go into this every day in the mornings plan. This is going to be the one that's going to be like my catch-all planner. So basically what's going to happen here is, yes, the inbox is going to be for anything basically that I need to get in terms of, is there any new inserts that I need? Is there something that needs to get replaced? Anything like that, or any kind of like notes that are long term for me to do is going to go right in here. Then I want to have like a yearly overview calendar system. Right now I have the calendars on a month on 2 pages, which is fine because it doesn't really take up that much space. Like if I see right here, this is the entire year of 2025 and it has all the appointments, all the dates, anything important that happened is all located here. So I will have basically a monthly overview or monthlies to review what happened during the year. That stays always. I am going to be taking out, I think, the current monthlies, and basically these are just going to be housing my current year. So when I need to flip and reference, when did we last go to the dentist? When do I need to make an eye doctor's appointment because we have to go every year? When was my son absent from his academic program? I will refer to those monthlies for that reason only, and just to archive it for the years that are there. Then we are not going to use a weekly. So what's going to happen is that this is probably going to come out because I do not use this on the go. This is like having 2 copies of information that I already utilize here. So this is going to be taken out. I am not going to be using weeklies in this because this is my catch-all planner. So basically my calendar months is what's going to be in here. Okay, and that's what I need to use to reference. I'm going to add in this part of my planner the password sections. Right now I have like content planning. I'm going to move that probably in here in my personal planner because this one I really don't open, and I'm noticing that because I only open it once a week. I'm not really utilizing this. So that's something that I am not going to use. This is going to stay because this is all my book reviews, all the books that I read so far in 2025. And I believe there's 6 books per page. So this is 12, this is 24, this is 36, 37. I'm on my 38th book for the year. My archive is definitely going to stay because that's something that I can always go back to write in. And if I want to refer to something, I can always go back and read this. I love having the idea of having an archive in this planner, and I really want to utilize more. So that's staying. This is, what section is this? This is a notes section. I think this is also important for anything pertaining to the house or our family. I do want to keep that there. I want to have both lists in there so I can refer to it in case I don't have this on me and I'm on my desk on a phone call, then I can review that. I have a contact list here. Um, I'm not sure if I want to utilize that or use it for next year. I might pull that whole section out. And then basically my finance section, this is where the cash planning, sinking funds, everything is going to go here that you see. And once I have a stable position in my career, then I will be utilizing that. So that is my planner ecosystem. This, I only expect to be in it once a week. So this is every day. This is once a week. This is also, believe it or not, once a week. I can journal a little bit every day if I choose to, but that's what I mean by having a current ecosystem. And you want something that will work for you. You want to look at your planners and you want to see what sections are currently working, what sections are not working, what sections do you need to take out. So, for example, right here in my inbox, right, I'm going to pull this because I already know that for next year, if I go into my little section, for my half letter for 2026, I want to have monthlies, okay? because that is very much where I live, where I need, that's for reference and important dates. Okay. Then I'm going to have also my inbox section. That's for anything for the home and family. So I'm going to pull this. Then I'm going to go to my schedule. Weeklies are getting removed, so I don't really need that. And I can move my schedule to where my monthlies will be, so that way I don't have to use so many of these tabs. I love a chunky planner, but if I don't need to chunk it up that much, I won't. Then we're going to remove these out of here. Okay, this is going to be, I need a half letter password tracker. So I'm just going to PW because I already know what that is. Definitely need notes. And that's for family and like doctor info. So I have that there. I also have my, let's see, where's the book list? We'll do reading log, and then we're also going to do whatchamacallit, finances. So these are the sections I'm going to have. It's literally going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what I really love is that I will have all my monthlies literally in the front of the planner. And I think what I'm actually going to do is, let me go to my inbox here. What I'm actually going to do is that I'm going to kind of have this tab in either the back, or maybe I'll move like the last tab, but I'm going to have a tab here basically, and it's going to have like my 2025 year in the monthlies, right? And then I'm going to have my schedule, which is going to basically be my 2026. And then I'm going to have all the months, my notes, my reading log, my archive, and my finances. It's super simple, and I'm going to be in this once a month. So for me, I already know what this ecosystem is looking like. And like I said, for this one here, I have to like, take out sections. I already know the sections here, but let me see if I have it here. And this is what I love about, the ring bound system, because you can take out what is not working, you can add to what is working. And I'm just going to put that here. And then we're going to put the inbox, yearly overview, monthlies, weeklies, and then it's going to be meeting, projects, notes, and finances. So again, this is the main planner. This is something that I am going to have set up for 2026. And if it's not listed in here, basically it's going to get taken out because I don't need that right now. I don't need it. So I'm going to make sure I put this like in the front. I don't want to necessarily put it like in the inbox, but let me see. I'll put it here because I already need to start organizing for next year once we start getting everything more accustomed. And I love that I have it broken down. So now I know that this is going to be used daily and the sections here, and this is going to be used once a week. You don't need to always get the latest planner that's coming out with all the sections and then creating more sections. I think when it comes down to it, when you have a lot of things happening, when you have a lot of things going on, you want something that's more customized. You want to take a look at your system. You want to see what sections can you remove, what sections do you need to add, what is working for you. Having a little deco is great. Like, I think these three will remain right in the front along with my folder because I could stick receipts in there or anything important. I can stick that in here. So this always kind of remains there, but everything else I can definitely analyze, look at, move around, and say, okay, what is it that I need? And what is it that I'm using, and what is it that I'm going to take out, so that way when I am opening up this planner, it's not like I'm just trying to write because there's a section in there and I need to write it because it's empty. I want to make sure I'm using it. I want to make sure it's functional. I want to make sure it's serving a purpose. And even though these weeklies are great because you can see, like, okay, I'm using it, I'm doing my schedule, and I'm keeping track of my brain dump, my tracking. I can literally see, how can I improve? What can I add? How can I make my planning experience better so that way it's more catered to me? So just because you see a new planner and they have, this these amazing sections or these beautiful covers, you don't necessarily always have to get those systems. You can remain with what you have, work with what you have, or if it gets too complicated, use a notebook. Write down the month, write down any appointments you have for that month, and then write down a schedule for the week and what appointments you have and cross those things out. I definitely need a planner. I cannot use a notebook because I think a notebook is not organized or sectioned out for me. Like, this is fine because this is a journal. I don't really need to find something quickly. This is something that if I open it, I need to locate what current day I'm on, right? And I need to find when this current week is, and I need to find the exact date I'm looking for. So this is why I said, having a journal system sometimes, or ecosystem, is more important and more relevant than having something that is, happening right now and everybody's excited about it. And I love Hobonichis. I do. I love Hobonichis. I love book-bound planners, but I also have to be realistic with my life and the direction I need to plan in and what I need to plan in my life. So I hope this video helped. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next one. Bye-bye.